Hi guys, how's it going? Today I am again winging it. Now please forgive the bad camera quality as compared to some of my other videos. I mean, some of my other videos are bad camera quality, but today I need a little bit more extra memory because will be a big one. I'm going to be showing you my DVD and Blu-ray collection today. I'll be moving house soon, and so I'll be separated from a lot of my collection. So I thought I might as well show you guys what I own. Naturally, I own quite a lot digitally, but I do have quite a lot of DVDs that more than I thought I did. And I'll be talking to you today about these movies. Now, yeah, please excuse this bare dressed bed. I'm currently in my spare guest room. See if I can move this. Maybe this will look nicer. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, and henceforth, moving house. I'll be moving into a apartment with my girlfriend, and so you'll be seeing some different sets from now on. Alright, well, let's just start off with something I bought at Supernova Comic Con-esque convention a few years ago. Jackie Chan collection. It comes with quite a few cool DVDs. Okay, so we've got like The Young Master, we've got Armor of God, we've got Project A Part 2, Police Story, and Police Story 2. Now, I have actually seen none of these except for Police Story, and do plan on watching the rest. One thing I also didn't even realize I had until I had just recently discovered it, an anime, Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions, or it goes by the other title, Despite My Delusions of Grandeur, I Want to Date. Yeah, it's a fun series. I haven't actually finished it. Yeah. This one's a pretty good one. Glenn or Glenda. This is a famous, so bad it's good movie by the director Ed Wood, who directed Plan 9 from Outer Space. It's Plan 9 is the one that worked. 1 till 8 didn't work. That's a very poorly rendition of a Jerry Seinfeld joke. Yeah, so this one is bought at a place called Trash Monkey. I don't think Trash Monkey exists anymore. They did like a lot of goth clothes and heavy metal albums and stuff, but they also sold a lot of cult films. That's where I picked up Glenn or Glenda. This is a pretty interesting film. It's Ed Wood, who is a terrible filmmaker and doesn't know how to make a film to save his life, but he still loved film. It's this attempt at a documentary, despite the fact that there's no people actually really being interviewed. It's a bit hard to hate on it because it's like you can kind of tell that it comes from a place of his heart. It's sort of discussing queer subcultures, transgendered people, drag queens. I don't know if it's offensive to say female impersonator, but it's not like drag queens, but people who just want to dress as the opposite sex, but they aren't specifically gay or a drag queen. I guess that's female impersonator. Let me know if that's offensive, and I apologize if I offended anyone by saying that. Here's something a little bit more offensive as well. Zulu. This is probably one of my favorite films, but it's very interesting. It's one of Michael Caine's very first starring roles. It follows the true story about the battle at Rorke's Drift, which was a military post occupied by about 97 British soldiers and the Zulu warriors in Africa. They were pretty much having enough of the white people coming and just sort of killing everyone, so they went 300 on their asses, and it's like 97 British dudes fighting 4,000 Zulu warriors, and like there's no CGI because this is from like the 50s or 60s, so you have like these crazy scenes of like this last stand, and the British are kind of just using like every tactic they have to try and defeat the Zulus, or not even defeat, just to stand ground from the Zulus. And what's interesting is that the Zulus aren't really portrayed as bad guys either. They like you can kind of see like both sides, which is weirdly politically correct, sort of like equal for a movie of its time. I haven't seen this in a long time, so I'd have to watch it again to see if it's like racist or not. But I remember just like when I was a teenager, I just loved like the action scenes, and it's sort of like if you love 300, you'd probably like this film too. Okay. Here we go. John Wayne. Double feature. Texas Terror. Winds of the Wasteland. I think I've seen these films, but I was quite young. This is probably going about 10-15 years ago. I think I bought this at like a random school fair for about like $1 or something. So, yeah. Good, Bad and Ugly. Classic Western film. Western epic. Highly recommended if you haven't seen it. Yeah, it's really good. It is close to 3 hours, but yeah, it's good. One film I haven't seen yet, Lost in Translation. Famous cult film, Bill Murray, Scarlett Johansson. I heard this one's apparently like a little racist compared to like today's standpoint, but I don't really know. I haven't seen it yet. Don't know. I've got plenty less offensive films. Here we go. TV show. Batman Brave and the Bold. So why do I have this? I actually used to be a journalist sort of thing while I was in high school, doing like for this newspaper, very popular newspaper in my city. And they would send me and like other high school kids who were submitting articles and reviews and stuff. They would send us like free stuff, or they'd take us out to like Movie World or theme parks and places like that, and would go and have to write an article about that. And that's sort of how I actually became sort of published journalist, because it is in like the legitimate newspaper. And my articles are there. Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna keep the books and DVDs and games. I actually won Movie Review of the Year Award and Music Review of the Year Award and Rising Star Award at like that newspaper's sort of awards night. That was pretty cool. Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job. You can see there it's Tim and Eric as dressed up as the their characters, the only married news crew. This is actually I heard this is quite rare to find. This is every single season, including the TV special, their version of Christmas, Crimbus. Yeah, and I don't know how much it's worth, but I actually went to see these guys live earlier this year, right before quarantine hit, and man, that was a crazy night. That was weird. This is a weird one. Invisible Dad. This is very crappy TV film. Really terrible acting from the dad, but weirdly enough, the dad, the actor of the dad, the Invisible Dad, would go on to be like a great, huge voice actor, playing Timmy's dad from Very Odd Parents. And yeah, and he just has the same voice in this one. It's weird. Okay, this one I haven't actually seen yet. I bought this years ago when I went to like Hong Kong. another anime, Ghost in the Shell Solid State Society 3D. I was wondering why it was 3D. I thought it might have been like in a 3D craze. So it would have actually been a 3D. It's not. It's just like 3D animation. I don't know why they advertise that. This is one of the greatest TV shows of all time, Daria. This has actually got all the seasons and like the 2 movies and like a bunch of features. Haven't seen all of it yet, but from what I have seen, it still holds up as still like one of the even the topics they talk about are highly relevant today. Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice extended cut. I got this for free. I think it was like buy one get one free. I haven't actually seen the extended cut yet. I've heard that that version of the movie is actually better, like with the extra scenes. But I think it is like close to 3 hours. No, it's 182. It's 3 hours long. Whatever. I'll watch it eventually. Now the anime, Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere, Season 2. Haven't seen it yet. Haven't seen Season 1. I had some issues with the DVDs, I think, but it might have been the DVD player. Yeah, watch it eventually. Okay, Season 5 of The Simpsons. Classic show. Don't think I really need to say anything about this. This is a fantastic film. Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. Famous exploitation film. I actually got a poster of this movie somewhere around here. This is Russ Meyer's Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. This is one of the few movies where like I was totally rooting for the bad guys to win purely because of their sort of campy machismo acting. They're like 3 go-go dancers that are sort of going on like a crime spree in the desert in America, and yeah, it's a crazy movie. Highly recommended. Lots of great quotable lines. 8mm by Nicolas Cage. Actually haven't seen this one yet. I heard it's super dark. Yeah, I'll watch it sometime. Horizon in the Middle of Nowhere, Season 1. I think I have some issues with this CD, the DVD. Yeah. Gone Troppo. This is a highlight of the short films that won Tropfest from 1993 to 2003. I've actually entered Tropfest Junior. I haven't actually ever entered Tropfest. I don't even know if Tropfest even is on anymore, honestly. I used to watch it like religiously, like every year, but then I haven't, and I just stopped. Room with a View, Helen Bonham Carter, and Maggie Smith, Judi Dench, Daniel Day-Lewis. Haven't actually seen this film yet. Yeah. This one I bought it because... just look at it. Last of the Mohicans, an animated storybook classic. Now, I haven't seen Last of the Mohicans in a long time, but I'm pretty sure that's about, like, the genocide of the Mohican tribe or something in, like, South America. And then we've got, like, these little cartoon, cutesy-looking things, and it's rated G. I don't know what to expect from this. This is probably a fantastic film I watched relatively recently, Ghostwatch. This is from DVD King in Brisbane. Highly recommend that place. It's a free plug for them. At the Maya Centre, DVD King, they sell a lot of like cult DVDs, like exploitation films, like really hard to find anime, a lot of cool pop vinyls and like pop culture stuff. Yeah, that's in Maya Centre, Brisbane, DVD King. I think it's like 3rd, 4th, or 5th level. Love that place. That's where I was able to find Ghostwatch. That was a film that was banned for like 10 years or 20 years or something after it aired because a lot of crazy stuff happened. I'd love to talk about this in a bigger review. Okay, one thing I haven't I have seen a little bit of, but haven't seen it in a long time, and would kind of forgotten what happens mainly. Welcome to Irabu's office. Complete series. Had this for years, just haven't really watched it. I wonder how rare this one is, because I reckon you probably wouldn't be able to find this. A lot of people have kind of forgotten about this series. Yeah. Shakugan no Shana. I think it's Fiery-Eyed Shana or something. This is probably rare to find. This is Blu-ray and DVD series of season 1. Love this show. Interesting show. Nice little anime. Yeah. Yeah. And whoa. Need to watch it again. Got this at maybe my very first Supernova pop culture convention. That was like held in Brisbane or something. Yeah, it hasn't been on this year because of COVID. Wouldn't mind going there again, but I've just once you go to like what they do, they sell like a lot of pop culture everything at Supernova. There's one in Brisbane, one on the Gold Coast. Like once you go to Japan, because I'm a huge weeb, once you go to Japan and you see the prices of the anime stuff, and then you go to Supernova and see the prices are like double, it's like, why bother buying anything from Supernova? And like, unless it's like someone some guest I really want to see there, I probably don't care too much. I've sort of outgrown it a little bit, but I wouldn't mind going there again with some like cool cosplay. Love Elections and Chocolate, another anime. Really love this series. A lot of great twists that you don't expect from this series. Really forgotten show. No one really talks about this. Yeah, it does have its issues, but I actually highly recommend it. I'd love this show. That's sort of like politics at school sort of thing. But yeah, like a little political intrigue. It's sort of like almost like a political thriller, but set in like just a giant high school. Okay, this one, The Skull Man. This one I bought in like Hong Kong. Hong Kong. Didn't realize it actually doesn't have English subtitles. So, and it's really hard to find English subtitles for this show. So, yeah, I haven't really watched it yet. Kagemusha, The Shadow Warrior. This is Akira Kurosawa. Haven't actually watched this film yet. Would love to. Heard it's like one of his best. I've seen Not Yojimbo. I've seen the film where it's like sort of like an incident happening from 3 or 4 different perspectives or something like that. I forgot what that one's called, but it was really good. This one I bought from like Crazy Clark's or something like that ages ago. I just bought it because it looked ridiculous. Mom, can I keep her? Starring the kid from Malcolm in the Middle and a guy in a gorilla costume. And you know what? I haven't seen it yet, but what more can you say? It's monkeys, you know. It's great. So the follow-up to Invisible Dad, Invisible Mom. Again, Crazy Clark's. Haven't watched it yet. Probably watch it when I'm drunk. Oh, okay. Right. Darker Than Black collection. Sort of watched halfway through this. Need to watch it again when I have time. Another anime. I think it's just season 1. I've heard that the first season is really good. Season 2 is apparently not that great. Yeah. Okay, this is a great film. Great series of films. Day Watch and Night Watch. This is a Russian film. Not sure who directed it, but I think it's Daywatch, which is the sequel. It has like one of the craziest endings. It's sort of about, it's really cool. It's like an urban fantasy about people with like superpowers and stuff all living in like Moscow, I think it is. And it's got like witches and vampires and shapeshifters and like age-old prophecies, and it's a really cool movie. Highly recommend it. Chaos Head. Haven't actually seen this one yet. I feel bad that I haven't seen it yet. Certain Magical Index. Heard that this is pretty good, but like the sequels, Certain Scientific Railgun, are way better. I only watched like maybe the first disc or something of this. Maybe not even that. Do need to finish it someday. Probably when I got time. This is pretty good. The Bruce Lee collection. Isn't that case just awesome? It's just a cool silver case. And it has the Big Boss, Fist of Fury, Game of Death 2, Way of the Dragon, The Legend. I think I've seen Fist of Fury, actually. I think that's a film that like I think he Bruce Lee ends up beating up this entire Japanese dojo, but it sort of plays out more like a thriller. Like I think he becomes sort of like a serial killer, like a serial killer picking off the people who have wronged him in his dojo, and super dark, like crazy dark, more than you'd think. I think it's a lot of Bruce Lee's films. Like you think like when you see the fight scenes, they look really cool, but the actual stories themselves are really dark. This one actually won Family Guy season 16 Blu-ray collection. Actually got some pretty fun episodes. A lot of it's not that funny, but yeah, it's pretty good. I actually won this in a contest. One way to win competitions is just go on like every competition website you can find that's like free entry and just keep on applying. And I won this and like a bunch of coasters, and the coasters are really cool. Yeah. This is another film I picked up at DVD King. This is probably one of my favorite comedies. Kung Pao Enter the Fist. This is a parody of like all those like Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan films where Steve Odenkirk or Odenkirk? I forgot what his name is. I learned his name the other day, and it turns out that I've been mispronouncing his surname for years. So what he's done is he's taken like 2 or 3 kung fu films, and he's CGI'd himself or his own face like over the main character, and a bunch of, and like, you know, got like a few other actors to like CGI themselves into the film, and they've redubbed the whole film, so it's just like total stupidity. It's so funny. When I watched this when I was like I watched this when I was like maybe like grade 6 or 7, and me and my brother, we had to race to the bathroom because we were gonna pee ourselves laughing. It was so funny. Okay, here's a great one. Troll 1, Troll 2. Troll 1 wasn't good, but it was better than I'd expect it to be. Troll 2 that's the Troll 2 that worked. That's the one that worked. This isn't, yeah, that's that Plan 9 stuff. That's so bad it's good. Troll 2 is a fantastic piece of crap. Highly recommended. Got this for my like 16th birthday because I want, and with the room, which I'll show you in a sec. So much people have talked about it already. I don't even think I need to say anything more about it. It's just a fantastic, terrible film. Fun fact though, I actually had a movie night at my house, a bunch of friends over, and we watched this film, and it's really weird when you watch this with different people, because when we watched Troll 2, people really liked it. They actually were scared. I think it just had to be the mood that we were all in, because like some of the jump scares that are terrible, like, you know, the crappy looking trolls just sort of pop out. They were like, my friends were freaking out. They're like, oh my god, it's so scary. Oh well, I had a bad movie night at my house. Okay, this is a great one. This is another DVD King release. I mean, DVD King purchase. The Cars That Ate Paris. This is a famous Australian sort of Ozploitation film. Australian exploitation film. We have a lot of exploitation films here. We even make like... That seems to be like the majority of the films that Australia makes, just like crappy films. Cars That Ate Paris is interesting. It has this cool car that has it's like a Volkswagen Beetle that has like all these spikes on it, and if you watch Mad Max Fury Road, one of the cars is literally this one, and I think someone gets empowered on that car in both movies. The Plumber I actually haven't seen yet. I think it's just included because it's directed by Peter Weir. I should give Cars That Ate Paris more respect though, because it is actually a pretty good film, very interesting, weird kind of film. Honestly, if it was remade, I would actually think that a film like Cars That Ate Paris would deserve to be remade. Could actually do some interesting things with that. This is a famous film piece. This is more of an art film, a piece of sort of like neo-surrealist art. I think this should be seen in art, like museums. I think that the performance of the lead actor was one of the best of his year, portraying sort of a man going through a lot of issues while trying to earn the respect of his family, despite not really knowing what to do. I'm talking about Freddy Got Fingered. This was part of my bad movie night, where at midnight, when everyone was super drunk and some people had gone home, I played this one on and just disgusted everyone, but it really fit well with the mood. People have actually, this is a cult film now, people have actually claimed that this film is more a piece of neo-surrealist art because it sort of parodies the gross out films of its time in the 90s, 2000s by taking like all the general conventions of those gross out films that you'd see in like American Pie and bring it to the absolute extreme. So we see some pretty messed up stuff there. I think it's worth a watch at least once, just to, like, if you're a film fan. If you're a fan of like John Waters, sort of like Pig Flamingos, stuff like that, you'll definitely find interest in this film. Which, speaking of Pig Flamingos, have it right here. Shout out to DVD King. A lot of plugs for DVD King here. Love that place. This is John Waters, one of his first films, one of his most famous films. Sort of a big gross out film, and it came out at a time where gross out films were more of an artistic statement than anything. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like John Waters might disagree with that analysis. But it's essentially, it has some scenes that aren't gross by today's standards, like, because I see so much messed up stuff like almost every day on the internet. It still has some scenes that still shocked me. Let's just I'd love to talk about this in greater detail sometime. There's a scene, for those who have seen it, it's where the song Bird Is the Word is playing. I tried to fast forward the scene where that song plays, but it made it worse. And you'll only understand that if you've seen that movie. Excel Saga. I feel like probably only old weebs like myself will know this one. This is probably one of the funniest animes I've seen ever. Everything's really stupid. It's very meta. Like, I haven't actually seen the whole thing. But interesting fact about this one, the main character, Excel, she speaks super, super fast, and to the point where in the English dub of this, the first English voice actress had to be replaced halfway through the series because she actually had like throat issues because she had to speak really fast like this the whole real time while also screaming out her lines. Crazy film, series, TV show. Okay, John Travolta, Saturday Night Fever. This is a famous film, especially famous for its dance sequences. Don't actually realize it though. It's actually a really dark film, kind of depressing. It's sort of about sort of an art film actually. It's about John Travolta as a like Brooklyn paint store clerk. And he sort of lives like a mundane, sort of crappy life. He's like in a gang. I don't know about a gang, but like he's usually just causing trouble during the day. But when he goes to the clubs and he goes to the dance floor, he becomes like the king of the dance floor. Like, that's like his golden place. Like, he is respected. He's a king in those few moments, like minutes while he's dancing. But outside of that, he's just sort of living like this kind of crap existence. Really good film. I highly recommend this. If you like disco music, you're gonna love the soundtrack. If you don't like disco, there'll be hell. Okay, so this is an interesting film, Karate Dog. I think I bought this for my brother as a joke for Christmas one year. Has Jon Voight in it, which I used to think, like, have respect for Jon Voight. I still have respect for him, but like he's in like all these like terrible Christian films. Like he's in the upcoming Roe v. Wade film, and from what I've heard of the film, it sounds awful. Just offensive towards anyone. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Blade Runner. This is the director's cut. This is like 5 or 6 cuts of this film. This one, I don't think it's like the most respected cut, but it is one of the better cuts of the film. Still, essential viewing. Great film. I think I've seen like parts of the ultimate cut or something where there's some scenes in it where I really like more than what I got in this one. Like there's this great scene where Harrison Ford, like he's watched someone die or he had to kill someone, and then like I think the scene goes like he goes to like this bar. No, he goes to like a liquor store and he's like, the lady or the guy working there like just doesn't really care, and the guy's just like Harrison Ford's just destroyed. He's just like, a man died tonight. And the guy's like, what? Like, a man died tonight. I had to tell someone. Like, I love that scene. Oh yeah, just the quintessential so bad it's good film, The Room. Can you really trust anyone? With Tommy Wiseau's weird looking face. I used to be quite a big Tommy Wiseau fan, but I have actually read the Disaster Artist book written by Greg Sestero and seen the movie with Dave and James Franco in it, which I love that film. I like Tommy Wiseau, but I don't like him that much because he's just sort of like a huge asshole. I don't care about getting demonetized. I don't think I have enough viewers to be demonetized. Fuck it. But this is a great film. Great, terrible film. It's very, very funny. It just seems to do everything wrong. It has so many quotable lines in it. I just talked to the doctors. I definitely have breast cancer. This is another fantastic film. Sort of so bad it's good in a way, but also so good it's good. Rocky Horror Picture Show, starring Tim Curry as Dr. Frankenfurter. This is sort of like a parody of like a lot of B movies, but also as a musical, and like this music in it is just fantastic. The Castle. This is a famous Australian film, Australian comedy. A lot of great quotable lines in it. I don't know if anyone outside of Australia will find it that funny. Maybe New Zealand, because we sort of have very similar kind of humour sometimes. It's not like I could imagine like Americans would not find this very funny, because it's like the kind of humour is just like very Australian. But no, I love this film. Wreck-It Ralph, great film, Disney classic. And Toy Story 3, fantastic film as well. One of the most depressing endings. I probably liked it more than Toy Story 4, but Toy Story 4 was pretty good as well. Yeah, I'll come back and seeing as I'm almost run out of space and show you the rest of the collection. Okay, so I think we have 39 more minutes of memory left, so that's pretty good. Alright, next lot of DVDs, got some great ones here. Love to talk to you about all these DVDs. Some of these are fantastic. Alright, so this is a old school Italian giallo film. This is I think one of the first slasher films, or considered one of the first slasher films in the genre. This is Blood and Black Lace by Mario Bava. This is a pretty cool film, actually. Sort of like you can kind of see like people's movies today and like, you know, previous years, they're influenced by this film. This is a slasher film that takes place within the modeling industry, and yeah, like it's been ever since I've seen this film, but I'd love to see it again. I just love the red and yellow aesthetic. Yeah, like I felt like it was quite scary at times. Oh, and well, yeah, look at that. Look where I picked this up from. Trash Monkey. I wish Trash Monkey was still around, or if it is, that'd be cool. And there's a sticker as well. That's cool. I think I might still leave it in this DVD. Just to keep the memory of Trash Monkey alive. I love that place. Free posthumous plug to Trash Monkey. This is a really cool film, The Raid. This is, I think it's, yeah, Indonesian. It's about a bunch of cops that go into this building, this big, like, residential building that's, like, just filled with crime. It's sort of in the slums, and they're trying to get this, like, I think it's a drug boss or a big kingpin or something like that. Yeah, it's just, like, pretty much the SWAT team has to fight, like, you know, a whole entire residential apartment building full of people, and it's got like some of the best martial arts I've seen in a long time. I love martial art movies. I used to actually do Taekwondo for about 4 years when I was a kid. Honestly, I kind of regret quitting it as a kid. I think it was just like, I think I was just getting bored of it, unfortunately. Yeah. I think I learned it to try and beat up bullies, but then I just didn't. Turns out it's not really good to beating up people, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll cut that out. Whatever. This is the Night of the Living Dead. This is actually I think this is the 1990s version of Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, this was really crap. They sort of turned Barbara into like a Ripley from Aliens ripoff, where she's just like a zombie hunter by the end, and the zombies aren't threatening whatsoever. They really suck, and people just do like crazy dumb things, and I apologize if you can hear that noise. That would be a helicopter flying over my house. There's a helipad like over the river, and yeah, they fly over sometimes. Do love the cover art though. That's kind of cool. They're coming to get you, Barbara. I actually do own the first one, but I don't know if I own it digitally or not, but I have seen the original. The original is really good and is actually got some great stories to that as well. Maybe I'll make a review of that movie and maybe the whole Dawn series. Yeah, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Living Dead, two fantastic films. Day of the Living Dead still has its moments, actually. Not as good as the other two, but yeah. Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, got this for my 16th birthday, along with Troll 1 and 2. My parents actually got me a huge poster of Night of the Attack of the 50-Foot Woman as well. Unfortunately, it's just too big for me to put up anywhere. I don't even know if I still have it. If I do, I'll probably sell it if I can find it. It's old school B-movie classic, but I actually didn't like it that much. I thought it was really boring and slow. It's a film that could have been done in 15 minutes, but they take like 90 minutes or something to do everything. But get this, check this out on the back of this DVD. She's too many for any man. One woman, 25 pairs of shoes. She wouldn't need 25 pairs of shoes. She's just like really big. She'll just need some. Just pick up some Nikes or something. This is a fantastic film. This is probably one of the best zombie films of all time. Shaun of the Dead. Really, really funny. Part of the Cornetto trilogy, starring were 3 films. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End, where it stars Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, and I think Bill Nye actually is in all the films as well. Like they never really say that, but I think he's in all 3. Yeah, this is a very funny film. Just about like these 2 like sort of bogany guys. I mean, I don't know what the term for it is in England, but in Queen Country, but yeah, they'll be kind of bogans here. They like just want to head out to. There's like a zombie invasion. They're like, all right, we're just gonna go head out to the pub and like wait for this whole thing to blow over. Oh wait, we can't do that. All right, we gotta get mum first. All right, go to the mum, go pick up the girlfriend. Then we go to the pub and wait till this whole thing blows over. Fantastic film, love it. Evil Dead Legacy. I don't know why they don't have the 3rd film, but yeah, I've got Evil Dead 1 and 2. I honestly don't know if I've seen the 2nd one. I should watch it. First one is fantastic though. Yeah, great film. This is a film, one of the weirdest films of all time. The people have claimed it to be. This is Rubber. This is a movie about a car tire that gains sentience and psychic powers and goes on a killing spree, blowing people up, blowing things up. And the whole film is super, super meta. It's directed by this French DJ, Mr. Oizo. Don't know if I pronounced that right. I think that, like, when I first watched it, I really didn't like it. I think that it's probably worth another watch, but I just didn't really get it the first time. I do understand it now. I've seen like people's reviews and video essays on it. I don't know, I just didn't find it maybe as funny as I thought it'd be. I don't know. It's just like, it feels a bit overrated. Undead, this is going back to like Australian exploitation films. This is probably like a exploitation film for like today's modern day. I don't know if like they should name it something else, but Australia's been doing a lot of pretty cool zombie films like Wormwood. I don't own Wormwood, but I highly, highly recommend this film. Undead, I don't know if I'd recommend it actually. It's pretty silly. I don't know if I even finished it, to be honest. Should someday. This is definitely one that I'd love to talk about, maybe in a greater video. The Search for Wang Wang. Wang Wang is this Filipino little person who was an actor in like the 70s and 80s, and he was in a ton of films where it was like a lot of James Bond parodies where usually the joke was just that he was like a little person. But this is a documentary about trying to find this guy, and this is one of the most interesting documentaries I've actually ever seen. Like, I don't want to spoil it, but they go to some really unexpected places, and I just love the Filipino culture, and I think I might be a little biased because I've got relatives that are Filipino. Got a grandpa remarried, and so I have like a bunch of Filipino relatives, and yeah, they're all cool. Yeah, and I actually got this signed by the director. Found out from this film by like one of the guys that worked at DVD King. Shout out DVD King. I'm not sponsored by them, but who knows? Maybe in the future they might want a sponsorship. Yeah, found out about this film from DVD King. Actually, don't think I bought it at DVD King because the film was too expensive there. But I eventually did years later go to Supernova and meet the director there, and I've also got in the other room, which I won't bother getting it out, a bobblehead of Wang Wang, and he's got like the gun. He's actually doing this pose, and he's got the bobblehead, and he's very cute. Yeah, this documentary really goes places. It's funny, it's quite sad, it's quite amazing. Love this movie so much. Love to do a proper review of it. I think the guy gave me a good deal on the DVD and the Wang Wang figure. The autograph actually says to Lachlan, the #1 Wang fan at Supernova. Cheers, Andrew. God, I want to watch that film again now. Oh, right, last pile. It's probably one of the first anime that really got me into anime. I saw this clip from this one show on YouTube one night, and I thought it was just so funny. It was ridiculous. I had to watch the whole show, and it was To Love Room. Yeah, people who know the show will know that's the more seasons you go, the more hentai it becomes. Huge To Love Room fan. It's sort of my guilty pleasure. Even though I consider myself a feminist, this is like so not appropriate. Yeah, seasons 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Oh, this is good anime. This is all my anime list. Mostly anime. Redline. This is a really cool film. It's kind of like a modern day Speed Racer, but aimed at adults. It's sort of like an intergalactic space race. Really cool soundtrack and crazy animation. Really recommend this film. I think that it might have been forgotten by time a little bit. Police Story 1, seen that film. Pretty cool. Got some great stunts in it. Has a very abrupt ending. That weirdly enough, like in the deleted scenes, they deleted sort of like the ending that gives more closure. And I don't know why they deleted it, because it's only like 20 seconds long. But yeah, no, it was cool. Yeah, like, because they deleted that ending scene, they made the film really dark. Like, I don't know, if there's a minor spoiler alert, it just ends with the main Jackie Chan sort of beating up the bad guy that's sort of got like a diplomatic immunity sort of thing, and he just goes ham on this guy. This is a really cool film. Loving Vincent. This is a film where they have taken... it's animated, and they've animated on like thousands and thousands of real paintings that people, like a whole ton of Vincent van Gogh fans have painted in Vincent van Gogh's art style to create a movie, like an animated movie. Excuse me. And it's about a guy who sort of goes to the village where Vincent van Gogh's final days would be to sort of investigate his death and like sort of investigate the characters that were like close to him. And I think these characters are based on like paintings that Vincent van Gogh did. Story is pretty good. It's like not the best, but it's definitely like a great art film. Just to watch for its like vision. It's like it looks pretty. I'm a huge Vincent van Gogh fan. So is my girlfriend. Yeah, I'd say it's sort of quintessential viewing. Another art film by Panos Cosmatos. This is Mandy. This is a Nicolas Cage film. Sort of like a psychedelic horror film where I don't know if I should even spoil it because the trailer. I've watched the trailer quite a lot. The trailer doesn't really spoil what happens, so I probably shouldn't spoil it either. But essentially, Nicolas Cage goes ham after a cult of people in like the 80s. Yeah, and he's going hunting to exact some swift vengeance, and it's really cool. It's like the whole thing is sort of like very heavy metal inspired, like 80s heavy metal. Like everything's really pink and neon, and the film is sort of separated into chapters. And each chapter sort of has its own really cool graphic title to it. Yeah, and it's sort of like also Nicolas Cage sort of like slowly getting more deranged. Speaking of deranged, The World of Kaneko. Bought this in Hong Kong. Jeez, when was I there? 1 or 2 years ago now? Before the Hong Kong protests were even happening. This is a really cool film. This is about a sort of washed up detective. He's like alcoholic. He's definitely a piece of shit person, and his daughter Kaneko has gone missing, and he's sort of trying to find out what happened to her. And yeah, it's like one of the darkest films I've probably seen in a long time. I don't know about the darkest, but it's super dark. But it's also quite funny actually. Yeah, it's quite a lot of comedic moments and stylistic choices. Sort of like runs like a little bit like a hard-boiled detective thriller with and horror mixed with like horror film and like sort of like you know, some 90s Japanese gangster yakuza film. It sort of it like blends a lot of different genres together, stylistic choices. I'm probably rambling a lot, but I don't care anymore. Yeah, it's a good film. This is actually one of my best two favorite films. This is one of my favorite actors, actually, Sidney Poitier. He's To Sir with Love and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner is definitely probably the more famous one, but To Sir with Love is a really good film as well. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner was very influential in America and probably in Australia as well. I'm not too sure about the other countries, but Guess Who's Coming to Dinner is about Sidney Poitier. He's married this girl who he's sort of not known for that long, and he is meeting her parents for the first time, and this being set in like the 50s or 60s or like current day when it came out. They're sort of, the white family's dealing with the fact that the daughter is bringing a black man into their home, and they sort of just deal with their prejudice, even though they're not like outright racist. They sort of have to deal with like it's not white. But like, dude, if your daughter brings home Sidney Poitier, like, you know, you're bringing home like one of the like nicest dudes. I don't know him personally, naturally. Don't know if he could be an asshole in real life. I don't know. He could be nice, but yeah, character's a nice guy in the film. It talks about like a lot of like racial differences. Also has his parents come in it as well. Sort of like, I think it was also one of the first films to feature black on black racism, which never really been discussed before that. And that was sort of like, the idea like, oh, you shouldn't be dating a white girl because you should be dating a black girl, something like that. When this film was actually in production, lots of people debating in America whether interracial marriage, I think it's interracial marriage, should be decriminalized, because like it's weird to believe nowadays that, because I'm like born in the 90s, that it'd be illegal to marry someone outside of your own race. And when this film was production, a lot of states had decriminalized that, and when this film came out, a lot more decriminalized it. I mean, it's crazy to think nowadays, because my girlfriend, she's from like born in Thailand, that would be illegal. It's so weird. Just So With Love's a pretty good film. It's sort of like, I think it's set in England actually. His character wants to work out as a engineer, but can't find work as an engineer, so he actually takes up as a job as a teacher. I think it's actually based on a true story. And the kids in the class are all just like little shits. They're all just like rowdy punks. So he uses a lot of psychological tactics to sort of win the respect of all the kids and teach them proper manners and stuff. It was a really good film, actually. I don't think it's about like 100 minutes, and it was like I could watch it in one sitting. It's classic. I highly recommend it. He also he deals with a lot of racism, and he also deals with a lot of racism in To So With Love as well. That's not only like a black guy, it's not only like a teacher having to deal with like shit kids, it's also a black teacher in a predominantly white school that are also like all little shits. And of course there's like other races in the class as well. Like a lot of side plot. I don't know, it's a good movie. Yeah, another theme about race, although a bit weird. Probably one of Disney's weirdest films actually is Zootopia. Really fun film, but it deals with sort of racism through species of characters. Like a rabbit is wanting to be a police officer with, who has to, I don't think they ever talk about her gender, but they definitely talk about her species, that, she's like physically unable to become a cop because, all the other cops are like big buffaloes and lions and stuff, but, she sort of makes it through, it's a weird film, like minor spoiler, there's a, like, literally, like, a drug lab they find in this, like, in the subway, like, subway or sewers or something, and it shows pigs in, like, legit, like, hazmat suits, like drug, like, it's a meth lab, like, it's a meth lab, like, not a meth lab, but it's a meth lab, it's, I think they blow it up or something. It's weirdly adult. Good film though. A lot of furries love it. This is a film that's also unexpectedly dark. Barbarella, famous cult film. Jane Fonda stars as Barbarella, based on a French comic back in the 60s or something. She's like an agent who travels to this planet where it's sort of like hell, like a dark planet, darkness really. She has to overthrow like a evil queen and try and save the day, but probably shouldn't spoil it, but I don't know if anyone cares. You can try and skip over 10-20 seconds of this. In the ending, pretty much everyone on the planet dies because the whole planet blows up, including all like the innocent people and the bad people and like all the people that were just like trying to live through the day. Everyone dies except for the evil queen, Barbarella, and this angel she finds, and the angel's like holding up both Barbarella and the evil queen, and yeah, no, it's I don't know, it's very campy, but way darker than you'd think. This is also one of the worst films of worst animes of all time, MD Geist. Well, some people say it's really bad. Some people really like it. It's like a 90s super gory, violent sci-fi film. I've seen it a long time ago. I don't even really remember it too much. Here we go. Okay, High School DxD. I don't know, I was like 16 and the perv, I don't know. Surprisingly good show, actually, story-wise. This will go. Toradora, another anime. Pretty cool. Haven't seen it in a long time. Remember, it was pretty funny. I remember watching it with my brother, and we just sort of kept making fun of like the weird subtitled dialogue that they would say, because some of the stuff they said was like so crap. Sorry, Toradora. Has a second slot. It actually comes with a second slot because what it was Siren Visual or someone Hanabi. What they would do is they would have like the box set and have like, you know, the cardboard. They have like the cardboard thing, and you have to buy like the first half separately to complete the case. But turns out I don't care too much. It's on Netflix anyway. Evolution. I remember really liking this film as a kid. Watched it not too long ago. Wasn't as good as I thought it was. Yeah, it's cool. Disney film, Coco. Pretty good film. Love that song. E Poco Loco. Yeah, it's a good film. This was an anime that was a little bit more disappointing. King of Thorn. I've seen it. I haven't seen it in so long, but I remember the film wasn't that great. They sort of try and put, like, I think it's like a 6-volume manga all into one 110-minute film. So they cut out like so much content, and all the characters are sort of just like two-dimensional facades of like what they actually were in the manga. The Familiar of Zero, really like this as a teenager, but kind of have like a love-hate relationship with it. Just like this harem show. I actually cosplayed as like the main character at Supernova quite a few years ago. Season 2 of this show is actually really good. The rest of the seasons are okay. A Death Note movie, L Changed the World. It's a spin-off starring L, Loliet, and it's kind of cool. It sort of plays into more of like the canon that was built up in the movies, not the manga. So it's like it's okay. It was interesting seeing like L being the hero of the show and using his intellect and stuff. Okay, and Halo Legends. This is a compilation film, a bunch of shorts from a bunch of different anime studios based around Halo. Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. 2 discs. Did have some boring parts, they have some good parts. Yeah, it's a pretty good story, isn't it? And I think it's the final one actually. Yeah. The Gurren Lagann movie collection. It's sort of just like recaps the whole series, pretty much the whole story. Yeah, I'm still not happy about the ending of the TV show, and the movie's the same as well. It's like I get it, but also I don't like it. Yeah. Probably should sell this sometime. One thing I found out was quite recently is turns out I had paid $46.99 for this movie. Like, I guess that's like less than $20 each. No, that's more than $20 each. It's still, I don't. Yeah, it was alright. Oh yeah, so. Oh yes. How can I forget? Last pile. These are actually some of my student films that I made when I was a kid, and I won't show you guys, but I will describe them to you. Just because, I won't show you guys just because I don't know if the people that were in the films would be happy having their face up on YouTube. Missing Summer. You won't even be able to see the text written on this, but it says Missing Summer. This is a film that I made. I directed. I don't think I appear in it. It's a detective story where a detective has to find a lost girl and deliver it back to her mum. Yeah, that was a fun time actually working on that. Actually, no, it was stressful as I had. Was it stressful? It was stressful. No, stressful being a director generally. I made this in high school. Yeah, I had to deal with like the kids that were doing drama classes. They were great to work with most of the time. Sometimes, but like being in high school, it's like hard to get people organized a lot, especially if you're filming in like lunch break. Yeah. Rocky is Dead. This is probably like my best film. In high school, I was in a film and TV class, and I was either top of the class or this other guy was top of the class. I was probably more better in theory. But what we did was when it came to time to film a movie, we joined together and we made a film called Rocky is Dead, and it's sort of like a comedy about these two guys. One of them is trying to comfort their other friend, who their friend Rocky has recently died, and they have to do these stupid adventures like breaking into a classroom to get this thing from the teacher. They had to go into the forest and like drop down a cliff to get a necklace, and they had to get a manga from this bully and got beat up. Like had to, yeah. So in the end, it turns out that the Rocky is actually a pet rock, and the friend gets really angry, and then walks away, and then bumps into the bully who he stole the manga from, and then it ends with some punching sounds. This was actually played out at my high school film and TV awards night. We actually had it up in a local cinema, up on the big cinema screen and playing and everything. It was really cool. I don't know, the guy who I was working with, he won a big award for this one, because I think he technically was the director of this, although I did a lot of work as well. I forgot exactly what it was, what my role was with that one, but I did like a lot of work on it. Sight and Sound, interesting premise, I think, it's essentially about a woman being attacked and a blind man who saves her, but the woman is deaf, and so all the scenes of her being attacked are all just completely cut out, and then I think I played a blind guy, and so all the scenes that I'm in, from my perspective, all black, but you can hear what's going on, and it was real crap. I think I actually ripped off a film from Tropfest. True Spit. This is probably one of the first films I made in film TV class, starring one of my mates at the time and my girlfriend at the time, yeah, like I honestly don't remember too much of it. It was like a western or something. I remember there was like a scene where there's like gonna be like a western like cowboy style shootout, and there's like a flute playing, like flute playing in the background and like the music, and then they both reach over with their guns but just shoot a flute player, and the flute player like drops to the floor, and the music stopped, and then he goes and picks up the flute like dead. Anyway, yeah, so that is my entire collection. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still watching, subscribe for more content if you like. Yeah, and hope to see you in the next one, if anyone is even watching. Thanks, guys. See you around.